Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I was having a little bit of connection issues there. I had to switch the Wi-Fi connection, but I am here. Not to worry. Hopefully that's not going to happen again. So strange. I'm not surprised. There's some crazy, very strong energies right now with this full moon. So we are going to actually talk about the full moon. So thank you everyone for your patience. I'm actually going to put my hair up because I'm getting a little bit hot. So how are you guys doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. The energies of this week have just been off the freaking hook. Like, no doubt, it's just been wild. But thank you everyone for being here live. And thank you to those of you that are here watching the replay. I'm very thankful and grateful for your presence here on this channel. Look at that crazy little loop. I also want to invite you guys to make sure you get on my email list by downloading my free moon astrology guide, which tells you what your psychic gifts are based off of your sun, based off of your moon sign. And also make sure to go check out my Etsy shop so you can purchase my new calendar, which is called Stargate, an astrological calendar of intergalactic portals, as well as the spring webinar, which is now available, the replay. It's only $22, and you can get it on my courses webpage, which is found in the description of this video. So we're going to talk today about the astrology of this full moon in Libra that is happening tomorrow. Now, is everybody hearing me okay? Because I'm like, oh my God, there is so much going on right now. It literally says no data, but it has the little green button. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to actually move this over to here so I can actually see what's going on over here. Okay, so here we go. Let's say hi to everybody that's in the chat. Hello, Lady Virgo. Hello, Veronica. Hello, Melissa and William. Bora Bora. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Jess. Hello, Jill and Kelly. Taria, welcome in. Nelvin, how's it going? Chandra just texted me. Hello, Michelle. Yes, we just did a reading with Michelle. That was amazing. Hello, William and Boo Barth and Julene and Abby and Unicorn Way and Chandra Sangat, Colette. Hello. Okay, yes, everybody says good, sounds good, all good here, perfect. Okay, good, awesome. All right, so we are going to start talking about this powerful moon. I'm going to share the screen, so give me a moment to do that. It's intense. So like maybe a little TMI, but I'm actually going through my moon time right now, and it's like, the heaviest day. So I'm just like, just like, woo, this moon, man, like, as if it couldn't get any stronger. Whew, going through it, just going through it, going through the motions. But very, very excited. I'm also working on readings, you guys. So for those of you that are waiting for a reading from me, I am going to be sending those in very, very soon. Okay, so where do we put this guy? I guess we can put it right there. Let's transfer the screen so now you guys can see. Basically, I gotta move this guy somewhere over here. Okay, so that you guys can see basically the chart that we are going to be talking about. Thank you, Wendy, and thank you all the moderators for being here as well. So I'm not sure why we're having a little bit of connection issues, but it looks like we're back because it's just kind of frustrating. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on. Oh, Taria's like, same. Yeah, so it's just kind of intense for me. But let's just dive right into this full moon, which is literally happening at this week is just, there's just a lot. We just had the spring equinox, right? March 20th. And then we also had the Venus Sun conjunction that just happened at 5 degrees of Aries this week on Thursday. And now we have this full moon. So all of those events are activating, they're activators that are creating this very culmination energy that happens with this full moon. And we'll talk about that as well. But just to show you what a full moon looks like in a chart, you basically look at the sun and the moon, and they should be opposing at exactly 8 degrees in this specific moon, which is exactly where they're at. And there's the opposition. However, the very interesting and powerful thing about this specific moon is that it is happening with Chiron as well as Venus conjuncting the sun. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about, the significance of that. Having Chiron right there in the middle of all of it. I mean, you can see like how crazy and how unique it is that all of these 3 planets are exactly at 8 degrees. And then, you've got the moon also at 8 degrees. You've got another 8-degree planet is Uranus, also at 8 degrees. And I believe is there one more? There's not another one, but it's just crazy how all the number 8, yes, right, Lady Virgo, the number 8 is really, really strong in this moon. And you know what? The number 888, the way that I've connected it to, and I've seen in many different places too, is the number of the goddess. And I will show you something else that, although I have to actually move this, let me do this real quick, send it over to, or maybe I already did. I may have already shared it with the iPad, but I'm going to try it one more time. Let's airdrop it to the iPad just in case I haven't done it yet. It may switch us over to that, which is fine. I'm going to switch us right back to here, but I will show you that chart in a little while because it is very important for us to look at, because goddess, the Isis asteroid is also with this full moon. We saw the Isis asteroid with the moon for the Pisces new moon that we had. So Isis has been traveling with Venus, which really strengthens these energies. Do you know why the Leo King said 888 would indicate portal of Christ? Wow. I mean, I believe it. These are very strong energies that are totally like arriving at this time. And it's no joke how strong of a portal this full moon is. Now, in my Stargate calendar, I actually talk about how the new and the full moons are portals in themselves, opportunities for us to connect with the higher consciousness, the higher dimensions, the star families that are, beyond this third dimension and fifth and above, and how sometimes these new and full moons actually align with points that are on the fixed stars. And so this is like the number 888 could also mean in numerology, Christ consciousness. I don't know. I don't know numerology. I just know that this is something that has been, building up to this point. That is what I know about the astrology of this week, is that the Aries energy is so strong, started when the sun moved in to Aries, continues on when the sun conjuncts Venus Thursday, and then now it is culminating at this full moon where the moon is literally in the opposite sign of Libra and is actually a moon that is ruled by the planet Venus, which is basically in its detriment, but with Chiron right there, which brings in a lot of healing energies. Yeah, it is really mind-blowing stuff. So when we look at, if we talk about, this connection to Chiron right here, if Chiron wasn't there exactly at 8 degrees, this would be a completely different energy. But Chiron in Aries has been helping us to heal our insecurities about who we are, about our identity, about who we are and why we are here. And that's why this is a powerful portal of healing, because Venus has just conjuncted the sun, and literally yesterday began her new phase, which is called the transmutation phase, where she's finally preparing her journey. She has finished the conjunction, so she's on the other side of the conjunction. She's still behind the sun. We still can't see her with our naked eye, but now for the next 47 days, she starts moving closer and closer to the rebirth phase, where she reappears in the sky as the evening star, the Venus, the celestial Venus, and the queen of heaven and earth. So this is a collective healing of the identity of humanity, like who we are and what are we doing here and why are we here, are the questions that this moon is bringing up. It's a collective healing that is happening, that is being kind of activated, that it's kind of reaching this very powerful climax energy. And it is about noticing and stepping into collaboration with each other, healing ourselves, healing our own individual identity, which is all about Aries, and then learning to collaborate and share this powerful transformation together and work together towards a better future. The transmutation phase, the collective theme of the transmutation phase, which Venus is officially in right now, is about preparing for our feminine destiny by transmuting and alchemizing our feminine identity. So this is very strong goddess energies. So what it means for us as a collective is that we are experiencing one last powerful healing, like one last activation before we really start to get into so there's so many star families being active, coming through right now for us. If you're a channel, if you can connect to the star families, the Pleiades, the Orions, those are the ones that are really coming through right now, because the North Node is in Gemini and Mars is in Gemini, and this is where all of this information, all of these connections, these star connections are actually found. So this is a very intense portal, Orion portal, this time, these next few months, especially when the eclipses start to come around at the end, towards the end of the season, that is when we are going to see this sort of energy kind of culminate. When does Venus become our evening star? Basically 47 days from yesterday, whatever that is. Yeah, togetherness is good. Yes, exactly. This also created the Venus star point, right? The conjunction of Thursday with Venus and the Sun in Aries started a new start point. So for the next 9 months, the energies of Aries are going to be very, very strong. These are the energies, both the shadow and the light of Aries. So the light of Aries is courage. It is stepping into our strength. It is beginning something new. It is initiating energy. And then the shadow side of Aries is impulsiveness. It's like ego. It's doing things without thinking. It's being really aggressive. It's warlike energies, honestly. So like if we're not doing the work that Chiron is asking us to do, we're essentially staying in the in our shadow expression of Aries as a collective, which means that we are staying in a very naive and immature place, and we're not growing and we're not evolving. But that's why I feel like Chiron is here, exactly because he's like, I am here to help you move through the heaviness of these next basically 9 months. And that is how, that's why he's, the moon is lighting up the area of the sky that is in Libra, emphasizing the power of collaborating and connecting and working together and being harmonious and bringing harmony into our world. But we need to go through the healing process. Humanity has to heal this ego greedy kind of energy and let go. We need to transition. We need to transmute. That's why I call this moon transmuting into love, because Venus entered her transmutation phase, because we are transmuting the shadow of Aries into the light, benevolent expression of Aries as a collective. And the only way to do that is to find that balance and harmony between these two polarities, me and you, or me and us, me versus us, right? So like somehow we need to find a balance between these two polarities of Aries and Libra in the collective. That is a strong theme that is coming up right now, that this moon is illuminating. So what else is happening here with this moon? Some of the other aspects I'll share with you. There's a quincunx to Uranus, right? And Uranus is at 8 degrees over there in Taurus. There is also another quincunx to Pallas Athena, and then Pallas Athena and Uranus are making a sextile. What this is a yod. We call this a yod in astrology, and a yod is also known as the finger of God. The finger of God is pointing at the moon, and it is being created from Pallas Athena, who is in the sign of Pisces, who, by the way, is a spot in astrology where Venus is exalted. Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, which is a spot in astrology where Venus is dignified. And Libra is the third spot in astrology where Venus is dignified. So you guys, the energy of Venus and the goddess is so strong right now, being represented in this moon. It's unreal. And the yod pointing at the Libra, which also represents the celestial Venus, which Venus is about to become. So the Venus in her transit is the goddess of earth, Pandemos, which is the Taurus energy, but as that's a morning star, and as the evening star, she's the celestial goddess, which is the Libra energies, right? These are her two dignified energies. But how crazy is it that Uranus in Taurus is shaking, it's changing the world, it's changing the physical environment, it's changing our lives here, it's changing the third dimension. The changes are so everything that we can see and experience right now. That's what Uranus is doing. Pallas Athena in Pisces she's the goddess of wisdom, and she's the warrioress of spirit. She fights for what she believes in, and she's fighting for our right to own our divine experience, to own our spirituality. These two planets sextiling are activating that energy, and we're channeling it through our emotions, our emotional body, the moon in Libra, and sharing it with each other, and feeling the need and the desire to find balance both in ourselves, because it starts with healing ourselves before we can heal our relationships. I mean, this is crazy. It's amazing how all of this is showing up right now. And this is a moon that is literally involving Venus because of all of her major signs being aspected, and because she's at 8 degrees conjunct the sun and Chiron. So this is so powerful. The other thing that's going on with this moon is a beautiful grand trine in air between the moon, the north node, and Mars and Saturn. And grand trines activate the element. So this is activating the element of air, which is the mind, stimulating the mind, making us, forcing us to think beyond the veil, to open our minds, to explore new realms, to explore new worlds. That is what is happening with this grand trine that is occurring at the same time as this, this moon. And when you explore these three positions that we have right here, we already talked about the moon. If you explore the north node and Mars, what you're getting is an Orion starseed activation. So the Orion star family coming through. You're also getting us being pointed towards a collective destiny where we need to find our own information through our own method. But our drive is right there connected with this desire. So collectively, we're being asked to move in this direction. And then with Saturn in a very strong sign of Aquarius, the traditional ruler of Aquarius, we are activating, since really the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction that happened on the solstice in December of 2020, we are extremely activating these Aquarian age energies. So the Aquarian age is here. This is the time of moving forward, of, humanity moving towards the future, the prophecies coming true, the star seeds waking up, this powerful great awakening happening right now. Everyone, no one can really escape what is being asked of humanity right now. And so we're either going to go one way or we're going to go the other way. And we have a choice. Every human being on this planet has a choice, but we're seeing some of the craziest things that I think we've ever seen ever in our lives, in the astrology and in the collective, especially because of Uranus in Taurus, shaking up our world, literally shaking up our world, because it's time for things to change. Mercury is also making a conjunction to Venus during this full moon, and that's our psychic abilities, our intuition, our perception of the world. Now, Neptune in Pisces can be a really beautiful and positive experience, and a beautiful spiritual revelation, a vision of the future, a dream that is ready to come alive, and our mind being able to really like understand it with the Mercury energy right there. But Neptune and Pisces can also be like the shadow side of it is deception, it's confusion, it's a fog that never clears. It's addictions, it's, addictive patterns, it's hiding things that are hidden from us, things that are hidden from our view, from our perception. So this is like the split in the collective. It's like some people are seeing what's really going on, and their intuition is like, something's not right here, like something doesn't seem right, this doesn't really make sense. And then some people are just completely lost in the illusion that Neptune and Pisces energy has been, like basically activating right now in the collective sphere, which Barbara Handclough would call the fourth dimension. And that's where the reptilian and the reptilians live, right? So, or they're in control of the fourth dimension, and they've really infiltrated it with a lot of shadow energy and a lot of dark energy. And so that's why we're feeling that, because we can tap into the fourth dimension. This is the collective consciousness, and that's why a lot of us are experiencing a lot of grief. I talked about it this week. A lot of us are experiencing grief and sadness because we're feeling everyone in the collective, and many people are feeling like sort of desperate. There's a lot of desperation, there's confusion, right? So this is what we're connecting with. There's an amazing interview that I highly recommend you guys watch on Gaia TV with Barbara Handclough, where she talks about this energy. So that's another thing that's going on as well. And I would love to add some more insight into what this moon is activating for us. I'm going to share a different image. So here it is. Let me see how it kind of shows. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so this is a lot more aspects in this chart than the one we were just looking at. But what I want you to focus on is this little guy right here. This is the asteroid Isis. So this is the energies of goddess Isis. And I know you can feel the split. I know it's really wild. She is right there. She is right there with this moon. And she's on the side of Venus. So is not exactly conjunct the 8 degrees, but she's right there. And I've talked about this before, but I'm going to share it again because I think it's really important that we understand, what does this asteroid mean for us? What does she bring up for us, and what does she represent here, especially in the sign of Aries? So astrologically, and this is from basically the notes of my my training that I did called Beyond the Planets with Erica Othen, where she really dives into, goddess Isis and Osiris and the beautiful energies of these two beings and her lineage and the mystery schools and all of that. So this is what she says that they represent, which I think is just phenomenal. So astrologically, Isis represents spiritual awakening and our own inner process of reclamation, resurrection, and rebirth. And how wild that this is happening in Aries. And Aries is really a rebirth. Pisces is the ending of the Zodiac wheel. It's the death, right? It's the ending, the resurrection, like the death of Christ, basically, Christ consciousness. And Aries is a new beginning. So technically a rebirth. In sign and placement, she shows us where and what we need to reassemble ourselves back to light and life. And right now we need to focus on our own healing, on our own individuality, on our own identity, find like healing who we are and what we're here to do. That's the insecurity of the collective, is like, we don't know what we're doing here. We're very confused right now. And Goddess Isis is right here asking us to heal, to reassemble those aspects of ourselves back to life, to light and life. She's like the missing link, or the piece that eludes us, and the quest for wholeness and completion, and how powerful that this is a full moon of wholeness and completion. And the completion and the yard that's pointing at, the moon in Libra is all about these kind of goddess energies, goddess vibes, and harmony and balance within the collective. So when she's transiting, what Goddess Isis does is she is a spiritual awakener. So she's been like hanging out with the sun and Venus during this whole time, where they've been going through these crazy conjunctions and, all that stuff happening right now. She's right there. She's like, this is a spiritual awakening. Like, wake up, wake up. This is activation. Like, it's time to wake up. And she can show where as a collective right now we remember and step into our divine nature. She is synthesizer of love and wisdom from our experiences, and by transit and aspect, she signifies union, loyalty, devotion, sustaining energy, reassembling energy, resurrection, soul retrieval, the healing of fragmentation, and finding wholeness of self in relationship with the other. I mean, this is like Aries and Libra energies, period. Right? So like, this is why it's so intense and amazing that she's right here with this moon too. Now, with the energies of Aries, so like the Isis asteroid on Aries, is the divine feminine characteristics of embodiment are felt impulsively and quickly. The personality is strong. This is about strength and passion. And there is a fire ever yearning to learn more, to grow, and to evolve. This is an increase in spiritual wisdom that leads to increased leadership traits and a fiery streak that is added to the personality. And those are in the natal chart, but you can see how these energies are affecting us when you apply them to what she's asking us right now to focus on within the collective. So there's also an attraction too that can happen towards, chasing the opposite sex to find love, especially after one's spiritual awareness is triggered and reignited. So this is also new relationships, right? New connections. And these are like soulmate connections, because that is what she really represents, the ultimate soulmate relationship with her and Osiris, who were the original twin flame story. So that is basically what is happening here with this powerful full moon. So what we are going to do next is I'm going to come back to this screen with just me, and we're going to talk about the Sabian symbols for this moon. So how are you guys doing? Pretty good? I know I'm throwing a lot of information out at you, but this is what I love to do. I geek out on this stuff, you guys. I totally geek out on this and then share it with you. So we're going to go over the Sabian symbols. So we're going to go over 8 degrees of Aries and 8 degrees of Libra and talk about what they each represent. So we're going to start with... Let's start with the 8 degrees of Libra. So let's go over this the Sabian symbol for 8 degrees of Libra first. And soon I'll look at the chat and see what's going on over there. I'm kind of focused right now. So 8 degrees of Libra. A famous actress strikes and holds a pose in the final scene of a long-running play. I mean, to me, the long-running play symbolizes everything that has been going on up until this point, right? So this is about being on display. This is fully inhabiting a self-created public role, making every scene one plays memorably dramatic, larger-than-life personalities who use exaggerated or exhibitionist displays to stay in the limelight. This is creating art that causes a splash because it is in sync with the current tastes, but can quickly lose its appeal, versus creating art that channels timeless truths. That's actually very significant there. This is reinventing oneself versus getting stuck in a bygone era and losing one's luster, finding themselves playing the same scene over and over again. This is about participating in the cherished dreams of one's society, dramatizing collective ideals, obsessed with their public image, may live on the surface of life or compromise their ideals because they are constantly seeking public approval. And this is about a forceful projection of personality. So this is interesting. I mean, those traits are like, they're like here and there, you know, it feels like it's good, but then there's like, it can kind of go the other way. There's just a lot of interesting connections between how we kind of show up in the world, I would say. With let's look at the Chandra symbol for 8 degrees of Libra. So here we go. This is a cook fixing vegetable soup from a myriad of ingredients. If variety is spice, here we have the ultimate gourmet dish. Inner necessity dictates that you draw eclectically upon the broadest, most fantastic range of factors and facets you can possibly expose yourself to. By becoming conversant with myriad voices, you find the subtle edge between the universal self and your own evolving center. Wow, this is talking about this duality that we're experiencing here. As you spread yourself thin and keep extending to the far horizon, the synthesis or blend grows richer and finer all the while. It is only by blending what has previously been polarized that you can begin to make your way. To be here for the changes, and the mix is everything. To define and limit is nothing. You simply have no taste whatsoever for prepared, pre-digested worlds. Whoa. It has to be dazzlingly inventive and spontaneously revelatory to have any currency in the realm where we are all seeking to bust loose, and we take what we find, throw it together, and discover that everything is part of the same thing. And this realization fans a pathway beyond the known altogether. Wow. Holy moly. So that's the finger of God is pointing at those two energies. And now we're going to look at the 8 degrees of Aries, which is on the opposite end of that, where the Sun and Venus and Chiron are, and Isis. So let's look at 8 degrees of Aries. A psychic moves her hands over a glowing crystal ball, bringing the cloudy images within into clearer focus. Yup, that's right. That's Chiron right there. Like, let me make this loud and clear to you guys that this is your healing journey. This is about seeking inner illumination or guidance, Gnostic or alternative religion, and channeling. This is getting a glimpse of higher truths in the cloudy realm of psychic intuition. We talked about all this stuff. This is predicting the future by examining the many possibilities impinging on the present, are tempted to represent tenuous institutions as certainties. This is testing one's hypothesis versus insulating oneself in a flattering bubble. Working out problems in advance through inner visualizations, envisioning machines or molecules, occult symbols, visionary art, or sexual fantasies. This is following the inner light wherever it leads versus losing oneself in strange byways. This is staying in the limelight with a provocative, visually striking persona, clarifying one's inner model of the world versus losing oneself in murky speculations, portentous revelations. Wow. That one really doesn't need any explaining. And then the last one we're going to talk about is Aries at 8 degrees of the Chandra symbol. This is so interesting. Okay. A fat man in a state of reverie smoking a hookah. Superior to the world, experienced and sophisticated, seeing in the future what you have seen in the past, at the next point in the spiral, bored and worldly wise, unchallenged by the space and the wits of others. You are disdainful and haughty, yet in the center of all this lies as fresh a perception and way of being as the outward husk has grown decadent, bearing inside new worlds, trumpeting outside your disengagement from old worlds. You walk an edge sharp and dangerous between your impatient dismissal of the past and all worlds linked with the past, and a hunger and yearning for a different world altogether that burns and aches and will not go away. Is that not what we are experiencing right now, you guys? Along that razor's edge lies destiny. Ooh, I just got chills. Half volatile and half triumphant. These two sides war and collide in a rivalry for who will decide the outcome. What? These two sides war and collide in a rivalry for who will decide the outcome. Whoa. Like, no. That's crazy. Astrology just blows my mind. Every time. So let's check. Let me go into the chat and kind of see what's going on here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you to the moderators, Wendy. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and check all the links in the description so that you can see all the amazing stuff going on. I just released a book, an ebook, and I also just did a webinar for the spring astrology webinar. Make sure to check those things out. Yes, this is beautiful, Jai. I'm Pisces Sun and Libra Rising. Janet. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Janet. That is beautiful, Jai, says Julene. Wow. Yes, the symbols. Yes. Astrology speaks from within and above to me. Yeah, for me too, for sure. We've got to do something different if we want something different. Sounds like we are to feel secure in our individuality and unique gifts and trust that they will fit within the growth dynamic of the whole society. I think this is also about innovation, you guys, like innovating ourselves, becoming new, going through a rebirth, and then learning how to collaborate and work together from that rebirth, from our new identity as sacred beings. on this planet. And that's really what this moon, is really about. I want to go through and tell you where this is happening in your chart. So if you are Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or Venus too, because Venus is really strong right now in this moon. This moon is happening in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. So this is actually a strong duality here, because the conjunction of Venus and the Sun and the spring equinox and this full moon is like, there's a duality here. So we've got 1st and 7th house duality. So this is your identity, your own personal identity, and your own personal relationships. And this is relationships to other people that you're partnerships with, or even soulmates, marriage, and even business relationships as well. That's the duality that you're experiencing in your life. The activation is very real for you in this realm of self and harmony and self and relationships. For Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising in Venus, the duality is basically it's the 6th house, but it's also the 12th. So let me just make myself a little note here. So, or the 2nd actually. Hang on, give me 1 second. So Aries is going to be the 1st house. That's going to be the 12th. That's going to be the 11th. I know this is like super important information. So yeah, there we go. 1, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. So basically, this is interesting though, because it doesn't seem... Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so here we go. So that was Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is the 1st and the 7th house duality that's being activated for you. Taurus, who's a Taurus? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is like the Sun and Venus and Chiron in your 12th house of spirituality. So you're initiating a new sense of self within your 12th house of knowing who your divine self is. Knowing what you resemble, what you're here to share, what you're connecting with, what are your psychic gifts, and then the 6th house of work, and bringing that and anchoring that into the 3rd dimension is really what is being activated for you, Taurus. For Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this is the Sun, Venus, and Chiron in your 11th house of sharing your gifts with the world. So you are understanding and healing and learning, what am I really here to share? What am I really here to give to the world? And then you are culminating that energy, and it's really finishing, and you're understanding this weekend what it all means by activating your creativity and your passion. And that's what's happening for Gemini. For Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. For all of them, it's Venus too. I just keep forgetting to say Venus. This is the 10th house, Sun, Venus, and Chiron in your 10th house of career and stepping forward into the world. So how am I supposed to show up? What is my identity? How am I supposed to be seen in the world is the questions that you're asking yourself. And the full moon in Libra is bringing it back to home, saying you have to remember, home is where the heart is. So where do you feel like home is? And that's where you're going to find that powerful connection to be able to actually show up in the world. With Leo, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising is the 9th house where Sun, Venus, and Chiron are. This is you understanding where you stand in terms of how much you know, your spiritual integration. Have you explored enough? Have you set yourself free to be and learn new things? And where are you at with that? Like, how much have you collected from all of your adventures in the world? And then the full moon in Libra happening in your 3rd house is about, now you can speak about your experiences. This is remembering how much you've experienced, and then being able to talk about it and share it with the world by writing or speaking or sharing your truth, opening up your throat chakra. Leo. For Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising, this is Venus, Sun, and Chiron in your 8th. So activating a powerful, a shamanic symbolic death into a beautiful rebirth as the Sphinx, or not the Sphinx, even could be Sphinx related, but the Phoenix that rises from the ashes. So a new beginning, a powerful new beginning. You're learning, you're like becoming a whole new thing. You're becoming the butterfly in your life, and the full moon in your 2nd house is allowing you to reconnect with the earth, reconnect with this dimension, reconnect with the goddess, reconnect with your own values and your own self-esteem. As well as you rise anew and you become anew, you're learning to value yourself more. Libra, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising, it's the opposite of Aries. So, you're healing your relationships, your 7th house. You're asking yourself the questions of like, are these relationships really what I want? Is this serving me? What are the best relationships that are actually going to help me to step into more of my mission on earth, or my divine destiny, soulmate relationships, kindred spirits. And then the full moon in Libra is like, okay, as you recognize and you redefine, which is what you're doing, your relationships, you learn to find a center and balance within yourself. So that's for Libra. For Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising, this is the 6th house of work and your life and your health. So you're understanding your daily life in a new way. You're recreating this. You're redefining who you are at work, your work relationships, how you live your life, what you do on a daily basis, how you connect to the present moment, to spirit within this 3-dimensional realm. And then the full moon in the 12th house is the full understanding, the higher perspective of why all these changes and why you have to redefine your life, your health, and all of this stuff in the 6th house. For Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising, this is, a passionate activation of your creativity, a passionate activation of your ability to manifest in the world. This is you redefining how you create things. You're redefining, how you have fun. You're redefining your relationship with your children as well. You're redefining your relationships with your romantic partner. And then in the 11th house, the full moon in Libra in the 11th is the understanding of how all of that creative energy is to be channeled so that you can work with the people, with your friends, with humanity, and help with the ushering in of the Aquarian age. For Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising, this is Venus and Chiron and the Sun in your 4th house of the home. So you're redefining home. You're redefining who your family is. You may be finding new family that you never really knew you had. New soul connections, kindred spirits. I like that word. It's coming through strongly tonight. But you're redefining what home is for you. And the full moon in the 10th house is, okay, once I know where I stand, once I know what home is for me, and I feel that strong grounded energy, and I have redefined myself and my family in that way, then I can fully step out into the world and share and show up for everyone else. But this is a very important time where you're working in the realm of home and family, Capricorn. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising, this is in your, the 3rd house. So healing, redefining how you communicate. This is the house of, I think, Chiron in the 3rd is really about like letting go of the insecurity of sharing your voice, of speaking your truth, of telling your story, and of teaching about your wisdom, sharing your wisdom with the world. You may still feel uncomfortable. And so the universe is asking you to find who you are within this realm. How do you open up your throat, sing your song, is what I'm getting. And the full moon in the 9th house is you will enter a new understanding. You will integrate, and you will finally realize, oh, this is what I was supposed to be doing the whole time. This is where I can pull. This is my experiences that will help me to redefine my voice and to share my voice with the world. And then Pisces, Sun, Moon, Venus, and rising, Venus and Chiron and the Sun are in your 2nd house. So for you, you're redefining your values. You're redefining your sense of self. You're redefining your relationship to money. You're redefining your relationship to how you bring abundance into the world. You're redefining your self-esteem. You're finding more self-esteem. You're finding more courage so that you can really manifest and value yourself. You're learning to value yourself a lot more. And then when the full moon comes into the 8th house, what's happening is that you are going to officially feel like ready and courageous to take that leap of faith, which the universe is asking you to take. It's the 8th house, so it's a leap of faith. Go into the unknown. Just jump right in, because you're going on the hero's journey. You're going on the journey of the Fool in the major arcana, and that you got to dive right into that space that feels like the unknown, because that is what Venus is doing and changing, so that you can redefine yourself completely. Like you can become a completely different person at the end of all of these powerful Venus transits. So that's in a nutshell, you guys. I know that was a lot, but thank you everyone so much for being here tonight, for sharing your presence, and for being in the chat. Let's say, so thank you, Wendy, for moderating tonight. Thank you, Valerie, Crucial, Gemini Moon, sounds good. Lady Virgo, Janet, Chrissy, thank you. Yeah, so strong energies this weekend. Tomorrow night, I will be going live again at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we will do the ceremony, the full moon ceremony, which is going to be really, really fun. It's usually the most watched of my videos, and we'll be doing like an activation for calling in the 4 directions, singing sacred songs, the sacred chants, also doing a collective reading for everyone, and also the music, singing and the playing original songs. So yeah, thanks, William. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Boo Barth. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I will be seeing you all tomorrow. Make sure that you download my free moon astrology guide, so you can see what your psychic moon gifts are based off of your moon sign. And then also it'll get you on my email list to get the moon magic report every week. And tomorrow morning, I'm releasing a whole new podcast episode, and it is with the beautiful Susan Kennard that I have had the opportunity to be featured on her podcast, which is called The Spiritual Awakener. So you can hear the podcast where I was featured in on her podcast, and then tomorrow she's getting featured on mine, and we're talking all about mediumship and what that is and how that works, and like her spiritual awakening story. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear this episode, and that'll be released tomorrow. So everyone on my email list will get the notification that the episode has been released, but I'll also post on social media. Join us on MeWe, Channel for Grace, Starseed Soul Tribe group, and Channel for Grace page, and then follow me on Telegram at Channel for Grace so we can stay in touch outside of YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Chandra, Omira. Thank you, Julene. Yes, thank you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Satnam.